I'm feeling mean, I'm feeling mean.
Real fire, real heat, real smoke.
I'm gonna pick myself right. If some deserving dirtbag, black eye.
The fires we do here are no different than the fire you make on the street.
And if he swings at me, then I'll put that sucker's knees tonight.
We do have to train like we fight, or else we're kidding ourselves.
I'm feeling
The first time we came, we were shocked. It was the most realistic training we have ever seen or heard about.
We started with one container and then just let the trailer burn itself out and get parked in the back, and that was it.
The vision of Jim was to find this place and move forward. And it takes a big set of balls to do that.
This was ambitious even 20 years ago. More crazy, most people would say, but I was so fortunate early on with this to link up with Mike Lombardo and Bobby Pressler and guys like that. So they kind of shared their passion with me, and we as a group share it with other people.
You learn pretty quick that even the guys that are the who's who of the fire service are still students of the fire service. And that's another thing out here, is that there's no egos, there's no look at me. There's guys out here that can look down on anybody that comes through here, and there's not a bit of that.
One of the little problems we got a lot of guys searching standing. We're not going to find unconscious people standing.
Every time, like a guy like Bob Pressler or Mike Lombardo talks, it's like, hey, what the hell? That's pretty cool. I wish I'd have known that when I was a 25-year-old on the fire department,
All these instructors, they have a background from a true departments that do a lot of work. So, when you ask a question, the instructors really know what they're talking about.
Nobody's in it for their name. It's hard enough to get half these guys to say something out here, let alone, they're not beating on their chests, they're not posting on Facebook, look at me. They're just out here to pass it on.
When we do classes that are going to make the men and women that come here better firefighters. It's not about checking a box or meeting a certain standard that may be in existence. It's about real life, fundamental firefighter skills.
Practice perfection, because even on your best day, you're probably not going to reach it, but you'll be doing pretty good.
Whether it's on the engine side or the truck side of those skills, we do classes on the rescue side, we do classes for rapid intervention, but all of it is based solely on skill development.
So far, we've just been stretching lines, advancing second floor, doing some basic engine op stuff. Bread and butter, you gotta start somewhere. It's the best training you can get. You can't do this stuff anywhere. Here, we do everything. There you go.
We can't teach you how to do a search in a tough environment if we can't teach you how to do a search in a tough environment.
We've got lights out fires that are hot, and they're not just hot to make them hot. They're hot to put the pressure on you to make you fall back to your skills.
They crank the heat and the smoke up to where it slams you down to the ground. You don't want to stand up, even if you do want to stand up, but you're gonna get roached. Your mask might actually melt if you stand up. This is real heat. You can't replicate that with a smoke machine.
It's as real as possible in these buildings. When you lit the fire, that's the only difference.
I tell guys, I just did it this morning in the class, I say, who's been to the National Fire Academy? They have a 747, they have a subway station, they have a 10-story burn building, a debris pile, apartments with above stores. Unfortunately, you got a long way to travel because it's England's National Fire Academy. We don't have anything. We have classrooms.
We're a blue-collar trade being driven by white-collar professionals, and that's not a good thing, because white-collar professionals sometimes making decisions about a blue-collar trade doesn't look out for the blue-collar workers.
Lord, forgive me, take me on down the river where the kids can't find a red-handed sinner.
Coming up here, I was always with people who enjoyed being firefighters, who were like-minded and weren't there to do what I call the puppy mills of firefighters, where it's certification-based, money-driven, to where you were focused only on the profit of putting out firefighters in a 7 or 8 week Firefighter 2 program for the state. And that's, I think, typical of most community colleges, vocational schools, and things like that.
We're not fighting like we fight on the street. And I think we have to keep these people safe and sound. Men and women graduate from recruit school, and the first fire they go to is their first fire. And to me, their first 15 fires should have been in rookie school.
People get further and further away from doing the true training needed for guys to become better on the fire ground. And we used to have a little video that we ran that said, learn the job by doing the job. And it takes serious work to get good at it.
So we need to perfect something as simple as getting in a window, getting out a window, right? Because that's the stuff that'll get you hurt.
We have a motto, the basics always work. So those basic skills are what we preach all along. And when they leave here, as long as they continue to practice, they'll be able to do those things proficiently.
All right, number one thing I learned is just keep firefighting at the basics and be able to take it back home, be able to teach guys on my crew. Just don't have to be too advanced, just keep it to the basics.
There's pockets of this happening, and we hope that it's happening because they got some kind of boost coming out of here, and that's the best that I could ask for,